Okay, now we're on Absolute Superman number 10, and guys, shit hits the fan. Things get really crazy. But just for a quick recap, in issue number 9, Superman did team up with the Omega Men to take down Lazarus Corps and the Peacemakers. He has for the most part healed from his wounds after getting shot up with kryptonite bullets back in issue number 8. And although the trust isn't all the way there, he has decided to help the Omega Men. But while doing this, he's having this internal struggle. The more battles he gets into and the more violence he sees inflicted on the innocent, is taking a lot more effort for him not to just murder everyone who absolutely deserves it. But during the commotion of defeating a lot of the Peacemakers, Jimmy Olsen was captured by the Lazarus Corps. So now, Superman is unleashed. He's about to go straight at them, straight at their headquarters, right at the heart of the Lazarus Corps, to save his friend. But while doing this, we get a very insane reveal. Let's get into it. As we start on Krypton, years ago, as Superman's father is trying to save some injured workers trapped in a cave inside the planet. But something's wrong. They're telling him they won't make it, and as he tries to reassure them that they're getting the injured out first, there's a reason they're so sure none of them will make it out alive. And we see is some feral creatures called magmoles that are tearing the workers apart. But Jor-El thinks this doesn't really make any sense. These are not creatures that attack people, they're not violent. He believes something pushed them out of their food chain, disturbed their natural habitat. There may be something worse than magmoles down here, but for now, they are the problem. These men are gonna have to work together and fight through these creatures, as Superman thinks back on his people, and how they're used to fighting for survival. And as we see the magmoles surround everyone, Superman describes just how brutal Krypton was. His people are used to fighting against the scorching red daybreak and hard-baked soil, the gemstorms spewing diamond hailstorms at hurricane speeds, the infrared famines, acid tornadoes, and glacial volcanoes that would freeze entire oceans, the ruthless ruling powers of the city, the sun-crazed beasts on the field. Every day we battled them all. And as we see the men look frightened and Jor-El freeze up, he realizes he has to get back to his son. He has to get back to Kal-El. As Superman continues, we built a place of peace and beauty in the Redlands of Krypton, but it did not come without toil and hardship, without grit and blisters, without the resolve it takes to fight for what is yours, no matter the cost. As Jor-El finally shakes it off and tells his drone to activate the lava gun, he finds the resolve to get back to his son. As we see him shooting his way out of there and the other men fighting for their lives, as Superman continues, I come from generations of Kryptonians who made their way through the harshest of worlds, with lava in their veins, dirt beneath their fingernails, and blood on their hands. The Kryptonians who lived on the countryside did not have it easy. They fought for everything, and this made them harder and more honest people. This is where Superman was raised. This is why he is who he is. But this is all being tested as we get to the present, as it looks like the Lazarus Corps are holding Jimmy Olsen at the research facility in Greenland, and this is where Superman has shown up. And he's so fast, so strong. He did say last issue the longer he's been on this planet, the stronger he's become. We don't even see him. All we see is red mist, and all of these jets come falling out of the sky. They can't even really give visual confirmation on what hit them, but Superman is here, and he is definitely unleashed. And as they launch an anti-aircraft assault on him, we know it's not gonna do anything to stop him. But inside, we see Jimmy and Lois, as they watch the news report where he's being reported as Timmy Olsen, the terrorist who is being held in Greenland by the Lazarus Corps. As Jimmy is obviously very insulted, and he doesn't know if he should laugh or cry. And it's pretty funny as Lois says, "What do you expect? Reporters are morons." And although it's pretty obvious for those of you who didn't catch it, OG Lois Lane is in fact a reporter. But clearly, Absolute Lois is nothing like this. But Jimmy of course doesn't know what Lois went through. He's trying to whisper to her that they need to do something. They need to find a way to help Superman. But she just tries to shut him up, because if he keeps talking, they're both dead. This time, she has to do her job. She cannot betray the Lazarus Corps or her father is dead. So even though she feels differently, she cannot help Jimmy, and she cannot help Superman. As we go deeper in the facility and we see Ra's al Ghul and Brainiac talking, he's finally ready to meet who he's calling his son, Superman. And he doesn't really understand why they have to fight here in this terrible place, but Brainiac has planned it all out. He knows Superman gets his power from the sun, and here, the sun won't rise for another month, and the longer he fights with no sunlight, the weaker he'll become. And Brainiac has planned it this way because this is what he assumes Ra's wants, Superman weak and broken. And Ra's takes this time to talk down to Brainiac. Brainiac only thinks this way because he is a weaker being. He doesn't want Superman weak and broken, he wants Superman strong and obedient. He wants to make Superman whole. As Peacemaker makes his appearance, and he wonders if he can actually defeat Superman this time, as he's getting another chance to fight him. He's very bothered that last time when he was about to win, he was shut down by Brainiac, but before Brainiac can even respond, again, Ra's al Ghul belittles him. He tells Peacemaker he only takes orders from Ra's and Ra's alone, and the orders he has for Peacemaker is make God proud, as he shows him another kryptonite bullet. So he's actually encouraging Peacemaker to kill Superman this time. As we learn a little something else about Ra's al Ghul, he sees all of their men are being dragged into the night screaming, and he's hoping and praying that Superman is murdering them, but Brainiac lets him know he isn't. He's simply stranding them far away. And Ra's al Ghul does not like this. He feels like Superman needs more encouragement. He wants Superman to start killing. He knows it's something Superman is currently struggling with, and he's trying to get him to cross that line as he begins Phase 2. And as he begins Phase 2, a boom tube appears in the middle of the battle. The Omega Men are here to save Jimmy Olsen. And Primus is not playing with that no-kill rule. She tells her people to kill anyone who gets in their way. They're not leaving without Jimmy. And Jimmy hears this boom tube. He knows his people are here. So once again, he's trying to get Lois to understand, trying to get her to work with him so that they can get out of there together. But she can't risk this. Even if it looks like she wants to help Jimmy, her father is gone. So she smacks him with the gun and threatens to seriously hurt him if he doesn't stop talking. And the Peacemaker is really happy to see this, happy to see that Lois is finally playing for her actual team. And he's ready to go beat Superman. He's got permission to take him out. So he tells her, watch what I do to your Kansas pretty boy. But he seems to forget he did all that damage to Superman because he caught him off guard with a kryptonite bullet. Here, Superman is more powerful than he's ever been. He's angry and he knows Peacemaker is coming. As he says, I hear the roar of his jetpack, his heart pounding in his chest. Peacemaker Smith is coming to kill me. He has a bullet in his gun that will do the job, forged from the rubble of my dead homeworld. In Smallville, he almost succeeded. He's killed before. He's been rewarded for it, incentivized to do it again. His enemies have been othered and dehumanized. He is the hero of his story, and he will keep on killing, unless he's stopped, as we see Peacemaker Smith vanish into the air. And this is not the Superman he fought in Smallville, the one that even on death's door was doing his best not to seriously hurt Peacemaker. This is a Superman contemplating if he should just murder everyone here. So when Peacemaker goes up, all we see is a giant coom, a giant spread of energy, and Peacemaker is crushed as he's sent flying back into the ground. As Superman says, his armor is alien technology, beyond anything this planet should be capable of producing. It has been laced through his body in what I imagine was an extraordinarily painful procedure. And we know it definitely was. One that transformed Christopher Smith into the single most powerful human on the face of the earth. But I am not human. As we get a good look at what he did to Christopher Smith, he crushed and crumbled this man in about 4 seconds. And as Superman stands there looking like an angry sun god, he contemplates what he will do with Peacemaker Smith. Despite him being crushed and crumbled, he knows this won't stop Peacemaker. He'll always be what he is, a psychopathic murderer. And because of this, he thinks really hard about killing Peacemaker Smith. With little more than a blink, I could microwave his brain, leave him a drooling invalid. With a puff of breath, I could shatter his vertebrae so he'd never walk again, never pull another trigger. Or I could put my fist through his chest and hurl his heart into space. With such speed, he'd still be alive to see it sailing away. I try to think of reasons not to do these things. I try, as we get a flashback of Superman speaking to his father. Because he's had this conversation about murdering things with his father. See, his dad was able to get out of there when it came to the Magmols at the beginning of the issue, but he had to kill a lot of them. And although he doesn't like this and he feels like he should have been more prepared, Superman tells him you did the right thing. You saved those miners. But his father does not agree. The right thing? No. That's what we like to tell ourselves because it makes our tough decisions easier to live with. Out here in the Redlands, there are always tough decisions, Cal, but we must never lose sight of what constitutes cruelty and inhumanity, especially when we're the ones being cruel. And Cal does understand this, but he still has to ask his father. Sometimes we do still have to do it, don't we? If there's no other way, if it saves people's lives. And his father kneels down to his level and tells him, that's what it's been like in my time and my father's before him and his fathers too. Sometimes we have to be the cruel ones if that's what it takes to keep all of this from going away. as he shows him the beauty of Krypton. So it's not like when he had this conversation with Kal, he's like, yeah, always kill, you gotta do it. But he did instill in him that if there is nothing else you can do, there will come a time where he'll have to be the one who is cruel. He'll have to be the one to kill someone, if that's what it means to save everything he loves and everything he holds dear. And if he's the one who has to be cruel in this moment, he has to understand it's not necessarily the right decision, simply a tough decision that needed to be made. He still needs to be able to look inward and see his own cruelty. So now it's time to see, what will Superman do with all this information? Will he end Peacemaker Smith's life? Is this where he becomes the cruel one? And as he really thinks about it, while Primus is yelling at him to make a decision to kill Peacemaker Smith because he is a murderer, because he is a threat to everything Superman fights for, Superman realizes something. He cherishes everything his father told him, misses his words and his planet and his family, but he is not his father. And the only part of his planet that was able to be saved was him. He realizes something about himself. He's not the man stuck in the mines with a lava gun, doing everything he can to survive. He is the last beast, the creature pushed out of its natural habitat filled with rage, ready to take down anything in its way. And as his eyes light up and it looks like he's finally decided to kill Peacemaker Smith, he's actually decided to stop Primus from doing that exact thing. And this, of course, pisses her right off. She doesn't understand. How could he still save Peacemaker after everything he's done? To her, he is no Superman, just a soft little coward. But all of a sudden, Ra's al Ghul is here, and he does not like the way Primus is speaking to Superman, as he calls Superman his son, which confuses everyone, but he makes it clear he's not his son by blood. The blood is what comes now. And Peacemaker is devastated to hear this. He thought he was the chosen one, that he was the son of the demon. But he isn't. Ra's makes it clear he's simply a lamb dressed in wolf's clothing. A wolf would not be lying here, quivering and broken. So at this point, all Peacemaker has is that kryptonite bullet inside his gun, the only thing he wants to shoot. But even that he can't do, as Ra's al Ghul takes it from him, and he begs him, please, I didn't get to shoot my bullet. As Ra's simply responds, I know, and shoots Peacemaker right in the head with the kryptonite bullet. But not without Superman doing his best to stop that bullet, but of course it went right through his hand. It is in fact kryptonite. And with Peacemaker dead and Superman holding his hand in pain, Ra's talks to him. Look at me, my son. I know what you're feeling. You're angry at the state of the world, a world that has treated you poorly. This anger of yours, I want you to know it is righteous. It is my gift to you. Look at me when I talk to you, boy. We will use that anger, you and I, to save this planet from itself, to remake the world. Isn't that what you want, my son? And Superman is real sick of him calling him his son, as he makes it clear, I am not your son. But then he gets betrayed, stabbed in the back with a kryptonite blade. And the person that betrays him is none other than Primus herself. And with this being so shocking, this whole act that Lois has had, she drops it immediately, clearly really worried about Superman as she tries to help. But she's kicked right in the face by Primus, and Primus and Ra's al Ghul kill everyone, all of the Omega Men. And as we hear the father box going off and Superman in a lot of pain, he calls out for Soul, trying to figure out what's going on. And this is really crazy. They have a lot of kryptonite weapons. They were actually very prepared for Superman, and during all the commotion, Ra's makes it clear, you're not my son. You are not worthy of being called a child of Al Ghul, but we will teach you. Your sister and I, won't we, Talia? And we learn Primus this whole time was Talia al Ghul. Superman was pretty skeptical of trusting the Omega Men, but it turns out it's not even their fault. They were being led by Talia. They were all tricked, which is why they were all killed. All of this whole Omega Men versus Lazarus Corps was all a ploy to get Superman. This is why she was so obsessed with him. This is why she worked so hard to protect him. And this is where the issue ends, as we see all the bodies of the Omega Men, Superman writhing in pain, with the military and the Peacemakers holding guns up at him. He is about to be taken by Ra's al Ghul. Superman loses this battle. Oh my god, what an issue this was. I do hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the next one.